Dan here, DD Speed Shop. So today, something different. Danny's in the garage. A woman in the garage, I know what you're thinking.
It's my one hall pass.
It's her 1 day a month. We're actually doing a live stream at the same time, but we're gonna work on this hot rod. So where we left it last, we had the fuel system in-ish, not wired, but kind of plumbed. We did a bunch of stuff. You know we did in the last one, but I was very frustrated the last couple of days. So I've left it for a day, but now we're back at it. So the plan today is to work under the hood. Now, I ordered a radiator, not this one, 2 weeks ago, and it has not shown up yet. And instead of screwing around waiting for it, because it's the weekend now, we're gonna put this one in. Now this is a factory Tri-5 aftermarket aluminum jobby radiator, which should be really good. It's the same rad my buddy Josh ran in his 55 Chevy Gasser. We did miles mayhem and it was fine. And it will just bolt right in. I made all the extensions for it. Again, my concern was when we go down the US of A, it might be really, really, really hot. And I want an oversized radiator. But we'll do that later. Oh, and now Merce here, just everybody's all at once here. Man, the pressure is on. Anyways, so today, what we're gonna do first, I'm gonna bolt on the front clip. We have to set the fender gaps because somebody has opened the door into the fender and broken the filler off. Just adds to the patina, so we wanna get that set. We'll get the radiator in, alternator on, and then I wanna start wiring up this Holly. Say hi, Mer.
Hi.
Hi, Mer.
Say hi, Mer.
Oh yeah, we're on live there too. We got a lot of stuff going.
Two cameras.
So that's the plan. We're gonna get after it and kind of do a few clips here and there and finish off tomorrow. Hold the camera and keep me in frame if you don't mind. So what?
Want me to hold it?
Like I would know.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the paint gap. Now everyone uses paint sticks, right, for your perfect fender gap. Now we're a little tight down there, but if you just kind of, hang on. If I can jam this pry bar in here, if I can give it a little twist. Oh, it's a little much, eh? There we go. We can just jam paint stick right in there. Oh, and it'll keep the gap. Huh?
Just like downtown.
I think this is how they do it in the. It's a little tight there. Just a little more. There we go. So that's pretty much perfect. All I gotta do is just bolt the top. I undid the core support, which is bent to hell for some reason. I did store it in the snow, and then I did move it with the Bobcat. So I think we need 2 paint sticks, maybe?
It's a little tight right there.
Well, we can also take some of the paint off.
Ooh.
It's a little snug there. You know, it needs 2 paint sticks on the bottom. I don't know if I can twist this enough. Give Danny the camera. You're a disaster.
I can only do 2 things at once.
Okay, well, this is Chip Foose-esque. Yeah. Oh, I really chipped the filler. There we go. No. It's really hard on the hands.
That's better.
You just really got to get into the body filler.
Yeah. Okay. There's
Perfect.
2 paint sticks.
It's not bad.
That's better.
Up top looks good. Okay, well, let's bolt this in and delete that part of the footage because that was rough to watch. Oh, the fender's still tight up top. That's why it wasn't moving. I'll get a wrench. Come on, Mer, there's a lot going on. I'm used to being here by myself and having 2 or 3 cuts so I don't look completely stupid.
Just 80% stupid.
Yeah, that's right. I edit myself looking as good as I do. That was a little rude. There we go, that's probably better.
Another paint stick. Yeah.
It's still a little snug there.
It's pretty tight.
Why is this so tight? Oh, it might be rocked up against that's all the fender has for adjustment. Gentle Danielle. Of course, I can't really see anything here. Yeah, it's as far as the fender's going to go ahead with that adjustment, so we'll call it good. I'll put some bolts in it. So we got the paint sticks in. Man, you really saw the paint fly there, eh? Holy. Maybe we should have done that a little different. You know, for a body man of 40 years more, I can't believe you allowed me to do that. Okay, so those are all good. And then we had to do a little messing around on this.
And geez,
But it actually worked out. A little pry bar action, we had to fold the cross member back. Look at that. The gaps are perfect on both sides-ish. A little gappy here. The problem happened actually when we cut the center out of the hood, it sprung up. So, I don't know what we'll do there. I think live with it is the plan. And this door, look at that. For how far apart this thing was, it's basically perfect now. Okay, let's work on something else.
and scene.
And scene. Well, we're back just us. Yeah, wrenching live was actually a good time, but we got the front clip all dialed together. I actually put the radiator in it. I'm missing a water neck that'll fit under this tunnel ram, unfortunately. So I got a list of stuff I have to try and find tomorrow. But Murd read all the instructions on the distributor and that EFI stuff, and it seems very simple. I did zero amount research. So we should get that together tomorrow, and I'd like to bleed the clutch tomorrow. And we're going out for dinner after right away. But before I do that, what I'd like to do is put the exhaust on, or at least try and mock it up. Now the problem we ran into, well, when I put this on, I didn't extend it quite enough, so the exhaust kind of points down. And when you put the muffler on, well, will it even go on? It kind of points down. So my plan is, oh God, get that off. I'm gonna cut the flange off these header mufflers. And, well, at least the bottom, and I'll kind of bend it out and re-weld it back on. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And that'll just, so it'll obviously go down. The muffler will kind of kick up, go straight. I like to hang the tailpipes on. Now the tailpipes are very, very simple. All they are is just straight 3-inch pipe with, I think, a little 45 at the end. I booger welded this on there a while ago. It's just like a little bolt thing. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I got an idea, so I got to grind that off. That's on this, the support. Now again, everything's solid mounted, which is not ideal, but the motor's solid mounted. This thing's gonna be a rattle box. So I want to keep it as high as I can, have it dump out under the wheel well. Also, I gotta look because we're gonna probably have to trim this wheel well out just a little bit. So I hopefully it's coming out here-ish. We'll do a little measuring, and then the mufflers bolt on there, and then they just slip in with a little clamp. That's the tailpipe. So it's a very simple setup, rudimentary, but sounds fantastic. And it gives us all that free room under here for activities. We don't gotta worry about nothing. So it works really well. Everybody needs fender well headers and side pipes. Everybody. So I've cut the muffler off the flange, and actually I used a different flange on the muffler just because it was, I'm gonna be welding on a different flange, I should say, onto the muffler. Because it was a little thicker, and I don't know, they always seem to leak there. So I have the flange bolted where I want it. We are going to, what should I put this on the muffler, I guess maybe. We're gonna go ahead and just put the muffler on where we think, where's the best spot? I had a mark on it, right there. So we're gonna kind of eyeball it. I should put my gloves on beforehand. Idiot. Hang on. I'm just going to put a couple of dirty tack welds to hold it, then we'll take it off and we'll weld it on the bench, solid. And we should be dialed together, so we gotta line this up. Unfortunately, these mufflers right on the collector are a bit of a hassle for the bolts, but how are we doing? Good. Okay. We'll kind of bend this around if we have. Oh, that didn't weld very good. What the heck was that? That's embarrassing right there. Hang on, I'll do it again. under a bit of a bend. Crank this up another notch, maybe. Ooh, spark. That's not what I want. What have I done here? I need a floor jack under it or something. I'll try again. Well, there we have it. There's my ingenious plan. I did the back here, I had this little hanger, and in this floor support, I drilled a hole out and I welded a nut in it, and nut and bolted that in, so that's not going anywhere. It's all, she's solid. Everything goes up fine here. You know, I might put like a hanger here somewhere, just in case. I mean, because all that's holding this up is the front and then one bolt at the back, which I will say, I have run my 55 Chevy that way, a few cars with only having one bolt at the back. I never had it fall off, but this would be different. Sustained RPM on the highway, just, you know, can kind of vibrate things loose. So maybe one more hanger wouldn't be in the world. At the front, you know, we got it all nice and tucked up high. I just kind of put my finger in just a little bit there. I did schmoo on a bunch of high temp silicone, and I took some washers and I ground half the edge off just so I can get around the welds and got them all tight. This one's a little goofy. I might double nut these just so they don't back off. I really hate exhaust leaks. I will say, as much as I love headers because they look so freaking cool, the exhaust leaks are an absolute nightmare, and I do hate them. But it's tucked up, looks cool. We'll probably just paint it all black or do something, I don't know what. I'm gonna put the other side muffler on. I think it should just bolt on straight. Then we'll just kind of hang the tailpipe, and I'll show you exactly maybe what I did on that side. Then I think I want to just paint everything in the wheel wells real quick. It's got a bunch of overspray all over kind of everything. So we'll, you know, kind of hit the frame, and then up in there a little rocker guard, had it all ready. And realistically, this thing is really, like, it's a clean car. It's coming together nicely. I had to give it a bit of a whack with a hammer. Maybe I'll fix out the pair of vice grips too. We don't want to lose any horsepower back there. Check that exhaust out. So we've got just hanging off to the side a little bit. That's our, where did I put my little bolt there? That's our nut in there. So I always put a bolt in there when I'm welding, keep the threads kind of clean. But ground it down real quick. We'll give it a shot with some paint, move it over, bolt that up, and then we got to put a little exhaust clamp right behind the muffler, hold it all together, and I put the gasket in, schmooed it, the whole deal. And I might double nut that. We'll see exactly what happens. But yeah, there we are. Pretty slick little exhaust. But that's it for me tonight. Tomorrow, hopefully we'll get this thing mostly plumbed. There's gonna be a lot of little things, so I'd like to say it was run, but it'll probably be the video after that. We'll see all the little odds and ends. Gotta get water in it, water neck, all sorts of screwing around, but we'll deal with that tomorrow. We're back at it. New day, new problems. What we're going to focus on today is getting the sniper set up all together, maybe the fuel pump wired, a few little odds and ends like that, and kind of start making a list of what we're going to need. I'd like to start it, but you know what? It's going to be one of those things, there's going to be a zillion little things, and I don't want to rush it. And people in the comments saying, you know, don't rush it. And you know what? Sometimes I need to hear that, so I appreciate it. This has to be done right. I don't want to, there's no rush. It's snowing again today. A lot of people also in the comments had a lot of questions about this sniper setup. I've never done one before, but I am rather confident we can get it together. And just because it's a dual sniper setup, I think it's going to be exactly the same as a single setup, other than obviously these two are connected. This one runs off of that one, so I bet a lot of this will follow if you're going with a single setup. Now, I went with the snipers. They also have another set, which is the Terminators, which I actually is what I originally wanted, but they're out of stock. And then with the time frame of Power Tour and summer and all these things, I was like, you know what, we'll go with these, and I'd like to try the snipers on something else. No, snipers on this, Terminator and something else. The Terminators are the ones that look like an actual Holley carburetor. These kind of have like a quadrijet vibe to them, but if it works, it works. Now, I think where people get a little nervous is, I mean, you know, carburetor, you put it on and you're kind of golden. This does have, you know, a decent amount of wires on it. All the wires go into this back thing. The brains, I guess, are in there, I hope. And it's a lot of kind of clicking together. Now, my thing on these is always the fuel system. I always think the fuel system is the biggest hassle, but there's a bunch of different ways to do that. You guys have already seen the way I have done it. Just show you the instructions. This is the way that Holley says to do it. Out of the tank, into a pre-filter, into a pump, into a post-filter, into your regulator, return back to the tank, and then the rest will go to feed the throttle body. So again, we kind of put all these together in one piece, and it's going to go right back. So it should be fine. That's going to work out. We already have our O2 bung welded on. Now the complicated part, if I can get this open, not that, is all this wiring. And I think people kind of freak out a little bit, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you. It's actually fairly simple. So there's a bunch of wires on the throttle bodies. 2 on there, I'll show you real quick. One of which is going to be the O2. So that's one big connector taken care of, like it's a 6-pin. Don't worry about that one. The little tiny one is the little CAN bus, whatever it is, the little screen. That one's very simple as well. There's one that's for a temperature sensor, very simple. So now it leaves you with a couple of big ones. Now, there are a lot of wires, like, oh my God, what are we doing with all these? All of these are basically extra. There's 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think it's 8. 6 are outputs that you can decide what they do. So if you want fans going on and off, dual fans, if you want the fan come on for the air compressor, for air conditioning, these can all be controlled from that. One wire can control a Holley dash. One is tack output. So these are things, they're extras. You don't have to use these if you don't want. This is the main harness, which, you know, there's definitely a few things to it that's actually very, very simple. Our pink will be our switch 12 volt, so it just needs a little switch 12 clean power. Clean power is very important, clean power and good grounds. This one's going to go to the negative side of the coil, or I think it's a tack feed, maybe on HEI, so depending what you do, you can do that. This we're not going to use. This will be if you're running like a MSD box. Over here, power and ground directly to the battery. And this is actually slick. I didn't know it had this, I didn't read the instructions. This goes right back and actually controls the fuel pump. So it already has a relay and a control and all that right in it. Has a fuse, and that is it. Very, very simple. So that's the plan. I think I'm going to take a little bit of time. We'll go through this kind of one piece at a time, get it all fed together. I am doing one step further, which you don't have to, but I am going to use this fancy distributor, which should talk to the Holley thing, and it controls timing and whatnot based on the computer, in theory. So my goal today is to get both of those in and then make a big list of all the other stuff we need. And yeah, keep jamming. It looks cool. Let's hope it runs cool. So, a couple of snafus. That's hot rodding. Now, I'm starting to run some wiring. And the problem is this was so clean and sanitary, and the more you add, of course, the more it starts getting packed together. There's not a whole lot more to add, but we are starting to run out of room. Now, this is the battery tray. Now, as I recall on something, I drilled new holes and I actually raised it up, which I'm thinking I might do here simply because there's only a finger's thickness between the fender well and the battery tray. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some sort of like aluminum piece here up the firewall, maybe just a shield away from the battery. And I was thinking I was going to do one off of the master as well, just to kind of get a little bit of heat. That'll get me 80% of the way there, and hopefully keep those things from cooking. But that's a down the road thing. Now, this I believe what I did, I literally just measured, I think I did 1 inch, because there's 4 holes, bolts there, and there, and there. I think I just went 1 inch down on all those, and I just lifted it up, and that was that simple. And I lost 1 tab to hold the wiring on the 50 something or other. And that brings the battery up a little bit higher, but you run a low pro battery, you're fine. We have our O2 sensor hooked up, so that can run across the back there. That's these, no, it's this connector here. So those are happy. I connected the throttle bodies together, so they're happy. I ran the wire through the firewall for the screen, so they're happy. All we have is these 2 to hook up, very simple, which is that stuff. The one snafu I ran into, the temperature sender. So I took a plug out of the cylinder head, but it's 3/4 pipe. So I need an adapter to go from this to 3/4, and that'll go right in the cylinder head. Now, people have you put those temperature senders kind of in a lot of spots. I like it right in the cylinder head. I think that's the absolute best place for it. That's where, you know, you get the best reading for heat. So that's where I want to put it. So I got to get like a brass adapter. Otherwise, everything is going fairly good. Whatever's going through the firewall, we'll just kind of tie together with the rest of the wiring and have that all nice and clean. So it's actually not too bad. I think I'm going to do a little screwing around with the battery. I'm going to go measure battery height and stuff. I think what I might have done, now that I'm thinking about it, in one car is I raised the battery up and I changed the connectors, like the battery leads, to front post, like screw inside ones. And then you can lift it up and you have a lot more room. So worst case, that's what will end up going. But for now, I'll do a little drilling, get that secured in there so I'm happy with it, get away from that header right here, right now, and then we can carry out the wiring. Okay, quick status update. Now everybody's gonna be a little bit different in the way they do things. I decided to leave the battery tray where it was for a variety of reasons. One, as it all came back to me, the battery tray has a little whoop-de-doo in it. If you move the hole, then you got a spacer with washers on it, which is ugly. And once you kind of tighten it up, I mean, it's got 2 fingers for the space, so a little aluminum piece, you know, across here somehow will be just fine as far as I'm concerned. I decided to run the wiring up behind the battery tray. That's for that goes right to the starter. And then this is the O2 I ran behind. So we'll connect those 2 and we can zip tie those to the body brace, so that'll be decent. Now, the Holly guy did tell me the Terminator is nicer because some of the wiring is hidden. Well, most of the wiring I believe is hidden kind of under dash. Whereas this thing, the computer is inside the throttle body, so all the wiring is under the hood. So not quite as sanitary, and now that I kind of see it, I'm like, I kind of see where it's coming from. And I am wiring it for accessibility. You probably could do a way better job tucking it all away, but I like when stuff's kind of available. So I decided to put in the fuel pump relay and the main fuse on this side and run the wire across. Now the reason for that, I mean, it's extra wire, I realize, but it gets very tight in this area. Once you have the battery in, it'll be kind of either in there or down in there, which I didn't really want. So we do have 1 extra loom running across, bit of a hassle. Otherwise, it looks a little bulky because I put all the wiring for the car in it. I did run this one through the tunnel ramp, so that's kind of slick. And a few zip ties to clean this up as well. This can be our 12-volt switch, which I assume will go to the distributor. This thing needs the crank signal, so we got to get that figured out with the distributor. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much there. So we have our power. One of them is going to be to the gauge that goes inside. You know, we'll see, I could always put this underneath here a little bit too, and that would kind of hide it. But there's just, at the end of the day, there are a lot of wires. I did use this Tech Flex, which Cotton and Newburn gave me last year at Power Tour, so it's all kind of, you know, looks clean. It is what it is. I think it'll be, hey, compared to a new car, it is what it is. So that's pretty much everything there. This one long wire is the fuel pump. So I think we'll do that next maybe. We'll run that down. Also in here is the positive and negative right to the battery, so I got to pull those out of this and kind of do something with them. This stuff works good, but it's hard to get in there. Anyways, so we'll have that kind of tucked right up there, so that'll be the power for the unit, and then we'll probably go down, shink, and then right along the frame rail, away from the heat, and run this on the passenger side all the way back. So I'll do that, we'll wrap it, and we'll secure it to the frame. Then really the fuel pump will be wired up, everything will be kind of dialed together here. One thing I do want to do, in case I forget to say it, after I do want to run this real quick, a little bit of fuel and just get the junk out of it. I saw a few people, you know, just crap gets in here as you're making the lines and whatnot, so you just kind of flush it out a little. So I don't want it going in these fancy machines. Yeah, hit the adapter, we're giving her. So Mer's come over and ruined my entire program by reading the instructions. Who would do something stupid like that? So it turns out a few of these wires I didn't think I needed, I do need. And I actually totally forgot it needs a coil, and it's giant. So I moved a few things over and put the coil in there. It's just starting to get a little cluttered, unfortunately. I mean, it's fine, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, but that's pretty much it. So it looks like that Hyper Spark coil dealie, or the distributor, needs one of these wires. It needs one of these wires. And needs a wire from the other harness, all to kind of plug together on the output harness I was talking about. And we got our coil, which I don't actually have a coil wire, so I gotta get wires. So that's, yeah, I think next thing we're probably gonna do is I guess try and bump it over and find top dead center and then put it in. That'll be exciting. I was under it and I've gotten all the fuel line routed. I'll show you that after, and I actually redid the tail lights because everybody noticed a few weeks ago when I was moving this thing out, the tail lights didn't work, and that's because the wiring was loose and it got caught in the tire and ripped it all completely out. So, nothing like doing stuff twice. So I'll set the tripod up and we'll, I gotta get a battery. We'll bump this thing over until it's at top dead center, and we'll go from there. This thing's like a rocket ship for Murray's. It's got quite points.
No, definitely lots of wires and thing gummies, that's for sure.
I don't know if we can fix it with a file on the side of the road or not. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try and stab this distributor in. It's a little different, but it's kind of all the same at the end of the day. So the number one job is find top dead center, which this thing has no plugs in it. So we're gonna bounce it over. Mer's gonna do all the work here. While I hold my finger on the spark plug hole. Mur, you're not on set here. The people are literally waiting.
All right.
This is awkward. Hang on. Okay, go. 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 Oh, hang on, I was on the wrong cylinder. Go. Okay, that's coming up. We have a mark on the balancer.
Driver's side at the top.
I need a light bulb.
A light source.
Oh, it's got a bunch of orange paint all over it. Give it another bump. We'll just see if we get close. Keep going. Okay, I'll do the rest with a wrench. So the instructions said it want it right at like 0.
Yeah.
That's the deal. We're not advancing it to start. It's boring.
Hi, Daddy.
What's up with it, babe?
I just came to tell you dinner's ready.
Ooh. Murray, you're out. Isn't it like 3 o'clock?
No, it's like 5 o'clock.
Oh. Okay, so we have the balancer, the light, stupid LEDs, can't see anything, but we're right, number 1, we're on the mark. So that's good. We'll reset. So this is what this dealio is. And this little cap only fits on one way. It's got these couple little spacery things. So I mark number 1 because I just mark number 1 all the time. And so we're gonna put it in, and I guess that's just where the number 1 spark plug wire is gonna go. Pretty simple. And it recommends, well, it does recommend, it says you have to put the, well, I really went a little crazy there with the grease here. That's fine, it's fine. You know what? If a little is good, too much is fine. And we're gonna drop it in, we're just gonna bump it over till it falls in, because everybody hates when we do that. That's my favorite part. Can't even see anything in here. Okay, hang on.
Angle your wires so they're the out of the way. Yeah.
So it's in. Oh, it actually went right in. Don't need to bump it.
Like a glove, it went in.
Really?
It's not even fun when that happens. I love bumping it, then the internet gets mad, then we go back, put a screwdriver in it.
Wow. That never happens.
Do you think it's a quality of...
No, this isn't having anything to do with quality, but I gotta say the quality of parts I'm spent money on is ridiculous. So there you go, so that's in. So, a couple of wire hookups. This thing's pretty much ready to go.
Do you remember where you put the distributor hold down?
Is it maybe on the intake?
You're asking
Nope,
me.
it's
Nope.
definitely not. And that has a stud on
It
it.
has a stud, yes. So where have you put it?
You know what? I have a bunch of old ones. We'll put an old part on. It needs a little factory Chevy orange. We're not even gonna clean this up. Maybe I'll put a washer on it though, just for. And look at this, Mert. I keep, the MM is right here.
Yeah. I remember you borrowed it 15 years ago.
This is a nice tool I got here. This is a snap-on distributor wrench that I stole from Mer. Probably when I moved out 20 years ago.
That's one of the first snap-on tools I bought when I was a young'un.
That's one of the first ones I stole from you.
Exactly.
I can't see this at all. Everybody's in my way. Can you get out of the way, please?
I can see where it goes.
You want to just go ahead and hook it up?
I'm too little.
Yeah.
It seems way too simple.
That seems like, yeah, that's just way too easy because now all you gotta do is.
Oh, but now I have lost the distributor cap. Oh, maybe it's in the box. That went in very easy. And if it's all computer controlled like that, that takes the stupid, oh, I've lost one screw. That takes the stupidity factor right out of it. I think I lost it over here though. Is it losing it when you know where it is?
That much money and it doesn't have a captured screw? That's ridiculous.
There it is.
Huh.
Okay, you know what, Mer? It's not on your hot rod, so frig off.
Even the $4 HEI cap with the captured screw. So that
No, they don't. Not anymore. It's right there. It'll come right. Oh, that one does. Nope. The little ones don't. I know that because I've lost those screws before. They're just self-tapper in the plastic. They're junk now.
Really?
You've been out of the game too long.
I guess.
You were playing with the guys telling me that's a $500 Nova under your other username, merknowsitall.com. This is very strange. You just tighten it down, and it
Do you
will.
remember which one you got number one there? You can still see your mark on the side?
Yep, sure.
Huh. No, you don't at all.
It's one of the forward ones.
One of the four, one of the 8, you're gonna be right.
There's only 8 possibilities. Yeah, I think I marked it. Oh, but you know what? The tunnel ram really gets in the way of it. Tunnel rams are awesome. Yeah, it's marked. I knew exactly what I was doing. So now what? There's just a few wires you gotta hook up, eh?
Now what?
There's just a few wires to hook up.
Yeah.
And then ultimately it's supper. And then we'll start it on the next video. Psych! Let me turn that off.
What kind of clickbait operation are you running here?
All of it. So, there's just a few wires to hook up with the distributor, so naturally we're going to stop working on that and bleed the clutch. But,
Keep calling it crutch.
The crutch.
so, this setup came with this little reservoir and all that. And it said, don't fill it more than 1/3 after you're done bleeding, which seems a little crazy. Willwood, I've never, man, American Powertrain, they give you stuff, because if it was up to me to buy something, it would have been
Genuine Willwood.
Willwood .4 Racing Brake Fluid.
Oh, so .4, remember that. It's not the same as .3.
It's not the same as .3 that Canadian Tire has on sale.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, hop in.
Which one is the clutch, Dan? Oh, heavens!
There, I'm going to lift this thing up a little bit.
to date, Mark?
I'm the one under the car.
Locks, hawks, bagels, and socks. Everybody out. There's the floor.
Okay. Luckily he's not mic'd up.
Leaking on your shoes yet?
No, I guess I should just take this right off, eh? And then we'll pump it through
Take what off?
the bleeder.
I don't know.
Oh, I should have loosened this. What the? That's on there pretty tight. Holy shit. I need a socket. Organization is key.
His mind.
I'll just use a wrench instead. That's not it. Well, I want to put a socket at the bleeder's toit. I should have loosened it while I was on the bench, not on my back. Okay, let's try again. Nope, that's not happening. Okay, there we go. That was easy. No. Okay. I want to just,
Push it down slow.
yeah, like I got my this thumb on it, so we'll kind of. Okay, yeah, keep going. Oh, it's a weird fitting. Yeah, keep going. Yeah. Yeah, keep going. Okay, do it one more, then hold it down. Okay, the drain pan is in place, also known as the concrete floor. I'll go fill it back up.
Can you let it off?
Yeah,
Only to a third.
well, we gotta bleed the air out. The final racing fill is a third. Man, this cap just feels like satisfying and well built. Never had nice things before, you can really tell.
I'm a nice thing.
You're all right. Well, this actually drank it right down. Hopefully that's, whoops. Well, that was the wrong cap. See, I'm used to the junk caps and the junk reservoirs. Man, that thing is cherry.
This is the cleanest.
It won't last. Nothing will last. All right, everyone. Okay. Hang on. Quit rushing me. Okay. Okay, yeah, pump her up a couple times. Feels like something moved.
Oh, yeah. Definitely doing something.
Okay, you want to hold down? Yeah. Oh, that was nice. Okay, go again.
Okay.
Yeah, I really should put a drain pan here or something. Is there a cup or anything on the bench there that is absolutely making a mess on purpose?
There's like box.
We'll just pop it up again. It's probably fine.
More box?
No.
Let it up.
Yeah, you can pop it a few times.
It's actually pretty good, you know.
There's still just a little bit of air, so I want to.
This clutch pedal's a little wiggly.
Are you pumping it, or are you just wasting my time?
Oh, the dogs are outside.
Is it pumped, Mer?
Oh, yeah, no. Okay.
Okay, I think that was good. There was no air in that. But we should double check. Can you double check the top there, babe, and see how much is in there? We have to get it to a third. A perfect third.
I can't reach. I'm not gonna know what a third is.
I take my foot off, I'll look.
Oh, I'll just.
I'll get over.
Whew. hell would a third be considered? No, we'll just do it twice more. And that'll be a third. It's a fancy cap. I really like it. I'm gonna check that all the time just for fun. Okay. Okay, go again. Oh. All right.
Okay, for that.
Yeah. Does it feel good? Put it all the way down?
Feels like there's even, a little bit of play in it. So.
Yeah, well, when you do that, squeeze it again. Go slow.
What's it slow?
Yeah, do what you were doing before. Okay, now keep going. Oh yeah, so go back. So just put the pedal on real slow. Keep going. Right there is where it starts to engage. That's not bad. So it's got a little room.
Well, you definitely have like some play, so the master's all the way back.
Well, that's good. So we set it up properly, is what you're saying?
Seems like it is.
The second time around?
I'm gonna let the dogs in.
Okay. I'm gonna level with you. Danny made ribs for dinner, so production has stopped. I ate until we're not working no more. But I actually managed to get enough done that I think it's time to put a pin in it anyways. Luckily for me. Let's look under this hot rod. Just get a light real quick. And I'll show you under the hood after real quick. But there's our power line. I've got clamps everywhere. We have it all taken care of. The zip ties are overkill. We have our double grounds on clean metal. Everything should be good. I'm happy with it. Around the side here, that's our vent. So I don't think I really need one because I think it has a vented cap, but you know what? It came in the kit, so we put it on there. And then back here, we have all the wiring all loomed. I gotta get another one of those insulated clamps I ran out. But that should work out rather nicely. Now, another thing, and this little rolly chair is handy. So, people struggle. I've seen them struggle before with bleeding the clutch, and some people say they can't get the air out and whatnot. So, we'll see what the video Danny did looked like. But essentially, this is just like a regular, bleeder for a brake or anything. I took the bleeder out, put my thumb over the end. So you got a picture, this black thing is in there, I'm just holding it with my thumb. As the wheelman would step on the clutch, it would push fluid out, but then your thumb's holding it over it. So it's not a perfect seal, but it pushed fluid out, but it wouldn't let air go back in. I did that until fluid came out, put it on there, gave it a few bleeds, and it's pretty simple. Now, obviously, nothing's done. All this has to be tied away because you don't want any of this stuff getting caught in anything that spins. That would be bad. So we gotta take care of that. But realistically, it's good. The clutch is very, very nice. I hopped in, I just kind of worked it. Oh man, is it nice. It's like driving a brand new car. I know my buddy BW said that. It's like driving a new Camaro type thing, or one of his buddies said that, so I believe it. Feels very good. Let's drop this thing down. I guess you can look at the car instead of me, like a weirdo. And then we have that distributor in there. Unfortunately, it got a little cluttered up under the hood, which is kind of the way of the world. And that's the difference between the Sniper setup versus the Terminator setup. But such is life. So the distributor's in there. Whenever that's all hooked up, I do have to hook up the wire harness to it, but essentially it'll just need one connector goes right to this. Connector goes here, and then there's another connector that goes to a points wire, which is in this harness, which is actually this wire right here. And we should be taken care of. Obviously, this has to get plugged in to a connector. And in theory, it should crank, boom. Like no screwing around, no messing with the timing, no nothing. It's EFI with timing controlled. Really messes with me in the small block Chevy that is computer controlled, but I'm not the first guy to do it. So that's that. I think that's where I'm going to leave it here because essentially I need all sorts of little things. I want to put a new set of plugs in it. I want to get new wires. I got to get a battery, coolant, all that sort of stuff. We got passages we have to block for water. Actually, I have to take this off because I got to get the proper bushing for that. I want to do an oil change on it, put the belt on, yada yada. I don't have any linkage just yet, but we should be able to kind of figure something out. So that is where we're leaving it. But before I go, I made another purchase. It's not a car, don't worry. Not yet. You know, the problem with Facebook is I keep looking at it. Now I have a decision to make. So I bought this rear end, complete fresh rebuild, 12-bolt Chevy. I really wish I would have had this, well, a few weeks ago, but whatever. So that's out of a Nova, a 71 or something like that, Nova. So that's first gen Camaro, Nova to like 74, maybe even later than that. But coincidentally, it's the same width or half inch, maybe narrower than a Tri-5 Chevy. So do I put this in my 71 big block 4-speed Nova, because it has a 12 bolt in it, 308 gears, terrible. Or we put this in a black 57 and then I can absolutely wail on that thing. LS Turbo 400 12 bolt. I also kind of want to put a turbo on something. I've never done that before. I know turbo LSs are done to the moon, but it just seems like something you kind of need to do. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I kind of babbling there. Next video, this thing should be making noise, hopefully. And if not, I'll figure it out. Runner next video, rear end in after that. Then we got to get the drive shaft cut. And I'm thinking within 10 days, knock on wood, this is going to be driving down the road on its own power with its brand new driveline. Thank you very much for watching. If you do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel below, it costs nothing. It makes a world of difference to myself and the channel, as well as liking the video. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.